All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Jorge Acosta Palmer, and I'm the director of the statewide training initiative for Florida Legal Services. We're excited to have you join us today for improving family outcomes with co-parenting apps. Before I introduce our amazing speaker, I do want to go through some quick housekeeping announcements. The training is being recorded, so if you registered, you're going to receive a copy of this recording in an email from Zoom, not from me, within 24 hours or so. If you don't see that email, no worries, just let me know. I'm going to drop my email in the chat. You can let me know. We will also be posting this on YouTube, so you should be able to find it as well. So the training was approved by the Florida Bar for 1 general CLE credit, 1 technology credit, and 1 marital and family law certification credit. I'll announce the CLE code towards the end of the presentation. I'll also drop it into the chat as well, and I'll include it in the YouTube description so you have multiple ways to access that CLE code. Closed captions are enabled for anybody who needs them. If you're having any issues with accessibility or the captions, you can reach out to me directly. This training is being co-hosted by the Public Interest Law section of the Florida Bar, or PILS. If you're not familiar with PILS, I'll also drop a link into the chat so you can take a look at their website and learn more about PILS. It's a great section, and there's a lot of benefits to attending those meetings and joining, and they have work groups and operating committees, so make sure to take a look at their website. And final piece of housekeeping announcements are questions and answers. We have the Q&A feature, so if you have a question, drop it into the Q&A and we'll make sure to address it towards the end if time permits. If for whatever reason we run out of time, I'm going to share our speaker's contact information so you can email if you have any additional questions. And finally, without further ado, I want to introduce our speaker today, Rebecca Perra. Rebecca comes highly recommended. Some of you may know her or seen her amazing presentation. So I'm really excited to have her here today to present to the statewide training initiative. Rebecca is a bar certified attorney in Pennsylvania and Connecticut, as well as Florida Supreme Court certified mediator in the areas of family and dependency law. She also serves as the Judicial and Legal Education Coordinator for OurFamilyWizard. In this role, she educates judges, lawyers, like ourselves, and other family law professionals on the online tools that are used to reduce conflict and increase accountability in high conflict co-parenting situations. So without further ado, it's my pleasure to pass it over to Rebecca. Rebecca, the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you so much. I cannot tell you how excited I am to be here and to present to you all. First, I would be remiss not to say thank you for all the hard work you all do. Without legal aids and the public interest section, I mean, you all do very heavy lifting. It is noticed and it is very appreciated. So thank you all for the hard work you do. And it is my honor to be able to present to you. So with that, I'm going to get started because we do have an hour. As Jorge said, please put anything in the chat that you'd like to know. If we have time, I should be able to get to them. If we don't, I would love to, you can follow up with me after. That would be wonderful as well. So yeah, I'm going to get going. Our Family Wizard, I'm going to go through a lot of information, but I do like to start with the origins of the app. Our Family Wizard, I think most people in family law know us as a tool for high conflict families. And it's a great tool for that. Don't get me wrong. But I'd like you to I'd like to present the origins of it, just so maybe you can think of it a little differently. So Our Family Wizard started as a pilot program in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where our company is still based. I am based in Sarasota, Florida. So the company, though, is in Minnesota, and it began as a pilot program to help keep families out of court, help bring the tension down, create better communication, and again, keep the families from being those return litigants, just back and back and back. So it's great for high conflict, and I'm going to go through all the tools in that regard, but I would love for you all to think of it as a tool that can prevent the conflict from even getting there for families that are getting along. I'm guessing a lot of you today on the call are family practitioners or staff or whatever. But do know, if you take something away from this, if you do other areas of law, Our Family Wizard is a fantastic tool. I'm a dependency mediator. I don't do many of those. I do more family, but it can be a great tool in dependency cases. And also it can be very useful in criminal cases that have a no contact regarding the children only. So I do encourage you to think of it in other areas of law where it might be beneficial. Even elder care coordination, great tool in that, gotten great feedback. So yes, primarily used in family, but I like to think outside the box. It can be really a great tool in all sorts of cases, honestly. Why our family wizard? I mean, I've been a practicing family law attorney. I've been a mediator. I've held different roles. I've loved our family wizard well before I worked for them. It really just is a fantastic app. It stays grounded in the family law community. Many of you might have seen me at events. I have presented to a firm or your organization. And when I do present, so anybody, please feel free to reach out to me individually. I would love to set up like either a presentation or a lunch and learn for your firm, because not only can I get into deep dives, show you the app, do a demo, but I also can learn more about what you all do, because hearing back from you all is what helps shape my job and shape the app. We always are looking for ways to improve and change, so feedback from you all is super helpful. We are truly committed to equality between co-parents. Our app does not favor one or the other. Every tool that I'm going to go through with you is equally available to both parents. Court-admissible, your records, it's going to be your friend. So in those high conflict cases, or in cases when they do go to court, it's really going to be your friend, because you're not going to be reliant on your clients or the parents or whomever to provide you with records. It's fabulous in that regard. And it truly does. It has a full set of features, and we also have a fee waiver program, which I'm going to discuss more. And we want this available to all parents, not only parents with means, but all parents. Our fee waiver is available, readily available to anyone who might be struggling financially or survivors of domestic violence. Again, I'll get more into the fee waiver program, but just know if you have clients that are struggling, please reach out to me. If they are represented by a legal aid, always entitled to free accounts. DV survivors, always entitled to free accounts. So yeah, it's a very accessible program for all. So let me go into the next slide, which I love this because it gives a bit of an outline. I'm a very visual person, so I like seeing everything right in front of me. It's really amazing. The calls have been our newest feature, but I think in my opinion, they completed the platform. I now call it a co-parenting ecosystem, because truly it can be everything they need to co-parent efficiently in one happy little app. And it's going to be a wonderful tool to just compartmentalize this for the parents all in one app. We have calls. We have two forms of calls. We have recorded and non-recorded. We have a wonderful calendar that the calendar actually can be exported to a Google Calendar. So again, it's a wonderful tool. Messaging, most people who know our Family Wizard know about our messaging, but I'll get more into it. Expenses, this is also, if you have heard me present a while ago, you might not have heard that they can even exchange funds through this, child support, alimony. The tone meter, fantastic. Again, I'll show you more on that later. The info bank, oh, this can hold that insurance card that people love to fight about in mediation. The info bank is going to be a wonderful storage tool. And when I talked about equality between parents, the info bank is a wonderful tool. So both parents have access to all the information for the child. Journal, wonderful tool, which I'll show you a bit more, and professional access. Anyone on this call, professional access is free, no cost. We are the only app that has a free professional access. Professional access, again, I can't see you all. You see me, but I don't see you. But I would love to know, I mean, feel free to put it in chat what your role might be. But I always encourage not only attorneys to have professional access, but paralegals, legal assistants, DV advocates, if, and the reason being is, let's take a paralegal at a really busy family law firm. They're generally relying on the client to bring in texts and emails and all the things. If they have professional access, they can print all the records through their free professional account without ever relying on a client, which is a happy day, I assure you, because I've been on that end of it. Calls. Oh, and you will see throughout my presentation, happy little QR codes. You can scan those. So, maybe you're just, I don't know, didn't have enough coffee today, whatever it might be. Or if you're like me and think of things at like 2 a.m. Oh, gee, I wanted to know more about those calls. You can just go back to this QR code and learn a little bit more. Feel free to scan them if it's helpful. It's going to provide you some further resources. The calls are a fabulous feature. It really, I think, completed our like suite of tools, honestly. We have two versions. We have recorded and non-recorded. As you can see on this slide, it doesn't look dissimilar to a FaceTime call. And that's intentional. It is intentional because we want these tools to look familiar to parents. You're going to see a lot of information today, but I assure you this app is so easy to use. So that is why it intentionally looks almost like a FaceTime. It can be audio, it can be video, it can strictly be audio. It really is a great tool in building consistent communication between the parents and the children when they're not together. As a mediator, I'm often preparing the parenting plan. And in about 90% of my parenting plans that I do, there is usually a 10 to 30-minute call somewhere there midweek or whatever with the parent not having the overnight. It's a wonderful tool for that. And it's also wonderful in that it tracks, did that call actually happen? I'm not gonna, I mean, to track down FaceTime reports and look at Zoom, it's hard. And those can be altered, they can be changed. With these records, they cannot be changed. So if I was still, practicing attorney, client comes to me and says, I'm not, they're ignoring my calls. I have not had my Wednesday at 8 p.m. call at all this week. I can log in with my professional account and I can see, are these parents following the parenting plan? Yes, no, maybe. It's a wonderful tool. So it really is with our app, we do not track parents, we do not follow parents, we do not sell data. We are very, very mindful of security and your clients and the parents' privacy. They choose when they want to be reachable. They can set boundaries with their co-parents while still facilitating the virtual co-parenting time. And they can contact each other without compromising location, personal data, phones, the calls. So with the calls, there's two ways they can be placed. They can be placed through Wi-Fi or they can be placed through cellular data. Where I actually saw this in real time making a difference. I live in Sarasota, Florida. We had 3 hurricanes, Debbie, Helene, and Milton. With Milton, we lost cell reception for a week. I have a lot of friends at the courts. I actually used to work at the courts for a bit. The feedback I got from my colleagues and friends was that, holy cow, if not for the OFW calls, they could not have placed calls because we had no cell data for a week. And these parents were able to, like, if they got to a library, got on Wi-Fi, if they were at a hurricane shelter, they had Wi-Fi and they could place calls to the co-parent, which was a tremendous help. Really wonderful tool. They can contact each other without sharing any phone numbers, which is wonderful. We are always, always, always conscious of domestic violence in creating and the app functionality. So if they're in a, domestic, and I will repeat this several times throughout this presentation. Domestic violence survivors always receive free subscriptions, period. As does anyone working with a legal aid or a nonprofit. Bottom line, period, just email me and I'll create those free accounts for you. Easy peasy. Now, going back to privacy. If they're, let's say, in a domestic violence shelter, somewhere they don't want to be seen, they can allow for audio consent, but not video consent. They will have to consent every time, which again, some people might say is an inconvenience, but our app does not follow people and we need to protect people's privacy. So at one point, maybe they were able to be on video and the next call that's made, they're not. So we are very conscious of your clients or the parents' privacy. And they really will. I mean, as the practitioners or paralegal or even a judge, if a judge is on here, it's going to show you the full story of what happened in the conversation, even without the recorded version. I'm just going to go back real quick. In the regular calls, the non-recorded calls, your records that you can pull through your professional account, you will see if service was disrupted and when it resumed. You're going to see if they muted. You're going to see everything. And as someone who formerly practiced family law, I appreciated that because I think, as many of you know, I don't know if my client's the problem. I don't know. In, Taylor Swift words, are they the problem? It's me. Is it not? I don't know. But it's going to show you everything. Was a call placed and muted for 29 of the 30 minutes and who muted? You're going to get all of that information in the reports you'll be able to generate. And then we have recorded calls, a wonderful tool. Obviously not for everybody. So but it is great. I especially hear good feedback from parenting coordinators, because they like actually going back and viewing the conversation as it occurred. I guess they meet with the parents and give feedback and tips and whatever. A lot of GALs I work with, they love this feature. I do want to assure you that, again, I'm very cognizant Florida is a two-party consent state, and it does require two-party consent. They will not accidentally end up being recorded. As you can see, I like to show the screenshot of both ends of the call, if you will. So on one end, it's going to be like, do you want this call recorded? By tapping yes, record, you're consenting to this. On the other end, and I've tested this out with a colleague, you will get notice. It is going to be recorded, and there's also going to be an audio prompt like this call is being recorded. So I assure you there's no accidental recording. So it's a wonderful tool. I do but again, even better than that, and you will have access through your professional account to the recordings and transcriptions, which is incredible. If they were to use other apps, they would have to either log in as the parent, which messes up the record, as you all know, or rely on the client to send it to them. But with your free professional access, you can access the recordings and transcriptions on your own. It can really keep parents on track with orders and agreements. Again, as I said, parenting coordinators, GALs, they love this because they can review it. How's it going? And it can provide a monitored means of communication, especially if there are a bit of safety issues. And you can see that's truly, as you can look, we try to show actual examples of how it would look on the app or whatever. It's going to show download recording, download transcript, and you are able to do that. The parents can do that on their end, but you as a linked professional could also do this. I do like, if you all walk away, I do want you to know that there are two versions. There's recorded and non-recorded. Not all platforms have that ability. It's either recorded or it's not. And as I said, recording's not for everyone. If I was still practicing, I don't know that I'd want my clients getting recorded, but again, it's there if they need it. And it's a really wonderful tool that I think completed our co-parenting ecosystem, if you will. Again, QR codes. So if you would like a little more information, you can access it when you'd like on your own time. This does show, if you were looking as the professional, what it might look like, because you can see little like client viewing mode. And you can see as the professional, you will have access to the recording and transcriptions. So kind of a nice tool. And again, scan the QR code if you're getting a lot of information, you want to go back, totally good. So on to the next, the calls and reports. They are fantastic. They're going to give you so much data, so much information. They're with all our reports, they're always time stamped with the date and time they were generated. So again, if you asked your client to send it to you but again, you can access it as the professional. So I guess you won't be relying on your client, but you can see when it was printed and downloaded, whatever. It's going to show consent. It's going to show the consent history. So again, if somebody's coming to you and saying, I didn't have the video, maybe the other parent didn't consent. You'll see that in the reports. The reports are going to show you a lot of information. You can see in this, they consented, they withdrew consent, who initiated the call, did they mute, who ended it. It gives you so much information. It is a wonderful, wonderful tool and important because, again, it goes through Wi-Fi or cell data. So this was a real game changer after the hurricanes. It was really, really good. It made my heart so happy to see in real time, like the benefits of it. So it was really cool. Again, just give a little bit of a bigger, so you can see it a little bigger, that you will see if somebody muted, turned off their camera. So if they are, in their parenting plan, supposed to have a 30-minute video chat, you'll see if the video was actually on or off. And if it's your client that disabled the video, you can say, hey, I was that disabled, or whatever it might be. You're going to get really a great picture. The call transcripts are available. As you saw, you can download it as the professional. It will be available to the parents as well if they have the recorded transcribed version. Okay, so for messaging, I feel like many of you who might be on here might be familiar with our messaging, because that's a lot of the reason people come to OFW, I feel like, for the messaging, but then they realize, oh my gosh, there's so much on here. I had an attorney once tell me, she's like, I use OFW. I'm like, oh, that's great. So how's it worked with you and your ex? And she's like, no, I'm married. She just loved it because it really had a tool for everything. It really becomes an all-encompassing tool for the parents, and they can just kind of compartmentalize and keep all their co-parenting needs, if you will, in one space. So messaging, little QR code again, if you want to go back. These days, it is so easy. I mean, so easy to change a message, delete a message, edit a message. I have seen, when I did work at the courts, I was sitting in an injunction hearing. And again, it's not hard to figure, it's not very difficult to figure out how to doctor these things these days. The parent actually scheduled, it actually happened to be, they scheduled it, long and short, they scheduled the timing so it looked like one of the parties was actually messaging the other party during the hearing, to which it did not occur that way. But again, you can time when messages are sent if you're not using OurFamilyWizard. So I strongly encourage, the messaging is just, it's fantastic. You cannot, when I do a demo of the app, I do like to show, like, I create a message and I send it and I say, hey, what do you see now? And they could see, hey, they can archive something. So if they find that upsetting, sure, go and archive it. There's no edit button once it's sent. There's no delete button once it's sent. It's gone, it's out there, and that's it. So good, bad, or indifferent, once it's sent, it's sent. A lot of practitioners I work with, the first question they ask me is, oh my gosh, I don't want to see all the messages. Can I sort them? 100%. You can sort them by date. If a client's coming to you about an issue that happened in July 2024, you can search just by July and generate a report just on July. If it's about tennis lessons, or I don't know, like, whatever it might be, you can search by subject, dentist appointment, you can search by that. So you don't need to you have access as the linked professional to all the messages, but you don't need to generate a report of all the messages unless you want to. Again, you'll see the QR code, so if you want to go back to it. So the messaging is fantastic. It's going to, the big thing with our messages, it is going to show when it was viewed, sent, received. This is big because, again, a lot of times in my mediations, I'll get parents saying, well, they never, I texted 20 times about picking up child or whatever it might be. The other parent said, well, I didn't see it. It's really difficult to kind of tell. But with OFW, you can see, was it actually viewed? Was it sent? Was it received? And a cool part too, I keep going to the professional access, but I really love it. When you log in as the professional, the parent or your client does not know you were in there. They don't know if you go in once. They don't know if you go in twice. They don't know if you go in at all. But the nice thing is, if your client did not read a message, If you go in as the professional through your account, you can read an unread message, and it will not show that the client read it. It doesn't change the record at all when you're logging in as as the professional, excuse me. So they cannot be edited or deleted, as I say, and I do like to show that to people. Very unique to OFW, we have something called tone meter, which we like to describe as almost an emotional spell check. It is going to, in real time, flag a message. Like you can see it on the screen. It almost looks like data bars, like how's your reception? It's going to be like really high, really low, but it's going to in real time say, that might be a bit aggressive, or geez, that was a bit humiliating. However, they do not have to follow it, nor will this show up in reports. And I get many pros who say, well, I want to see it. Now, when I go back to the origins of OFW, tone meter was this like meant to be like, it was meant to assist the parents. Like I've heard it called like the bumpers on bowling. Like it's meant to keep them like on track and improve their communication. It was not intended to be a litigation tool. So you will not see this on reports. So if you are reviewing messages and there's a really nasty message, I assure you the tone meter's not broken. It just, they don't have to follow it. They don't have to follow it. So, but it really, really, really can help them think, reframe their message, and get it back on track. If I ever have the honor to present to your organization in the future, we're actually the future, like crystal ball, there could be a tone, well, there is going to be maybe a tone meter AI, but that's a whole different discussion for a whole another day. So hopefully I would love to come back and give even more updates next year. So that's tone meter. The message history reports, wonderful tool. You can see who pulled the reports. Again, you don't need to pull all the reports. You can, but you can do it by date. You can narrow it down. Yeah, it's going to be great. And you're not reliant on the client to bring you. And oh my gosh, nobody wants to see the text messages, the call histories, and trying to subpoena Apple. It's a nightmare. So just, it's going to be your friend. Use OFW. It's going to, I promise you, it's going to make your life so much easier as a practitioner, paralegal. I love, even as a mediator, when the attorneys or the pro se parties even bring in their reports. It makes my life easier as a mediator. So yeah, let's go to the next tool. Again, QR code. So if you want to go dig around on your own time, the calendar feature, I will go to it next. As you'll see, it's not dissimilar to maybe a Google Calendar. Again, not intentional. We want these tools to be familiar, accessible, and easy for the parents to use. They can export the calendar to a Google or iCal or whatever it might be. So they do have that option. So yeah, the calendar, if you haven't heard me present in a long time, it has had some recent updates. I don't know, since I became a mediator, and I don't know, maybe it's a mediator thing, I am just upset. I'm very visual. And so I love the color coding aspect. Parents can print this out, put it on the fridge, see, and it's color coded. And just little side note, and most people don't know this, they create their own colors. So they can't even create the colors for the co-parent because we don't want them fighting over colors. So I create mine and my co-parents' colors. They create their own colors. So, but it will be color coded even down to pick up and drop off. So it's very visually easy for them. This is a more recent update. We have allowed them, if they would like, to pick some of the more common parenting schedules. We have the templates available when they set up their app. They don't have to use them, however. They can be customized as needed. But you can see on the bottom here, you'll see first day of school and swim practice. But you'll see swim practice, you can definitely see. So if I'm the parent who's purple, I know, okay, I got pickup. It's even, yeah, it can be color coded down to pick up, drop off, which as a visual person, I find super helpful. Holidays, we do not customize these because this is very, very personal through, for every family. It's personal to them and their specific family. So they create the holidays. but it's a one-step process, not a two-step process. So it's not difficult. So they put in the holiday, it's going to live on their calendar. They don't need to create the holiday, add it to the calendar, change it. They just create it, say how long they want it to go on, and it's done. This is great because they can put in like child's birthday, whatever it might be. So it's going to automatically update the parenting schedule, which is nice. Again, it's a one-step process, not a two-step process. Events, color-coded, and it's going to, oh, there are going to be clear records of when an event was created and edited. Okay, and you'll see edited and like, huh, that's true. They can only edit it up until the time it occurs, and you will have records of those edits. But I just am looking at the names Sam and Taylor on my PowerPoint. Only Sam can edit Sam's events. Only Taylor can edit Taylor's events. They cannot edit each other's events. And once it occurs, there's no editing. So it's there. It's not like an issue with like a Google calendars. You can go back and change it and almost rewrite history. As with the messaging, once it's there, it's done, it occurred. So it's a really nice tool. Yeah. And so let me just show the next tool, which is part of the calendar. This is, as a mediator, probably my favorite tool because I literally cannot count the number of times where maybe somebody's trying to start a new job, or one parent needs flexibility as they go, if they're going from one household to two, or maybe they're just changing jobs. It's pretty tough times out there in the job market. So maybe they're working different hours. This report, the schedule change request report, when attorneys or parents come to mediation with it, I love it. Because if I go in a room and somebody's saying, I am trying to work this new job, and this happens a lot actually in dependency too, where they're working a case plan too, and they need flexibility. This is going to show, are the parents cooperating? Or I guess if you're talking dependency, it could be caregivers. So anyway, it's going to show, are they kind of working together? Are they able to do minor changes on their own? Going back to the whole purpose of OFW, it was intended to keep parents out of court, keep the tensions down. So with the schedule change, they can do small changes on their own without going back to court, which is empowering and important. They provide a short reason. We made it arrows, a one-way change or a two-way exchange, so that it's very clear what they're looking for. And then they give a response. And if they say yes, it automatically goes on the calendar. So like creating a holiday, it's a one-step process, not a two. If they decline it, they decline it. They can make an alternate offer. So if I'm proposing Wednesday at 1 to switch parenting time, and okay, Wednesday works, I just need it to be 2, that's okay. I can do a counter offer, if you will. Some people call this the right of first refusal tool, which makes sense because that's kind of what it is. But if it is approved, it's automatically going on the calendar and updating the parenting schedule. They do have a deadline, so you can't put like, 8:59 a.m. for a 9 a.m. change that you're requesting. So they do have to put a deadline. And all of this, all of what I'm telling you is going to show up in the reports. So on the next sheet, and you'll see it's very clear that they have a deadline. So they shouldn't ever be surprised, like, well, I didn't know I had till 7 a.m., whatever it might be. So with the this is the report I love when it comes to mediation. Because again, if I have parents that are saying they're not cooperating, I've asked 20 times and all they've done is refused. The best thing is when I can just say, okay, you're on OFW. This is easy. Let's look at the schedule change request report, to which, am I looking at a page full of refusals? Am I looking at approvals? Am I looking at like a counter offer kind of situation? It really tells you the full story, and I really appreciate that because it saves a lot of time in mediation. And again, as the mediator, I'm neutral, I'm impartial. Quite frankly, it doesn't matter to me who's telling the truth. It just cuts through all that and gets to like, okay, this is what happened. So in this case, you'll see it was refused, and you can see why they were requesting the change in the first place. And in that particular report, you can see you're looking at one refusal and then approvals. So if I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, okay, they're working together pretty well, but it does create an unambiguous log of activity. And I love this report. So now on to the journal. If you, again, QR code, if you want to scan and look at it at your own time, totally understand. There's a lot of information, but I always tell people, I assure you, it is such a simple app to use or platform. I mean, some people do use it on the computer. So with the journal, there's two main parts. There's moments, as you can see, and check-ins. And I'll go into both, but again, you'll have the QR code. You'll see here, let me go to moments first. So first we'll do moments. I have heard people refer to this almost as a closed social media. It actually can be a great trust building tool. Most attorneys that I know, it might even be in the retainer, they don't like especially if there's case of DV, they can't follow each other on social media. But maybe there was a birthday party and one parent couldn't be there, but the other parent could. This is a great place to load photos. On OFW, again, we are always cognizant of safety and domestic violence issues. We do scrub the metadata. So if they were to load a picture into moments, there will be no metadata or way to track each other. They are not GPS verified. It can be like, I live in Sarasota. I could go on Facebook right now and say, great day at Disney, and post a photo. I don't need to be at Disney. And that's kind of how moments will work. Again, wonderful trust building tool. I actually found more practical purposes for this in my mediations. I actually sometimes would have a parent that was concerned the other parent wasn't doing homework. There's a lot of issues that can happen over homework. And so what I said is, you know what, why don't you load a picture? Why don't you load, we're working on homework. Here's tonight's assignment. And it worked really well. Again, I think it can be a really empowering trust building tool. So going back to the equal, that the app is equal for both parents, it's a great tool for that. So if one parent can't be present for that particular moment, they can at least share a photo. The check-ins these are going to be GPS verified. However, again, we do not track people, we do not follow people, so they will have to consent to it, which you'll see in like 1 minute. This is a wonderful tool if they're having rocky exchanges, which I think every person who does any sort of family on here can say they've lived that. They know that it happens a lot. So in Manatee County, we have this massive park. It's called, we have a lot of massive parks. And so sometimes what would happen is one parent would say, well, I was there. The other parent would say, well, no, you weren't. I was there. And really, honestly, the answer was they were both there. Just one parent was 1 mile away by the football field. The other parent was a mile away by the aquatic center. So it's a really good tool. So with this, they will have to enable their GPS, and I'll show you that. They do have to be within 500 feet. So unlike moments, I can't say I'm at Disney, because I assure you I'm not. I'm at home. So I couldn't be. You have to be within 500 feet. And this tool is unique to OFW, and I love this tool because so many exchanges can be rocky. They do have complete control over location sharing. As you can see, it's a quick toggle. They'll just toggle it on. And every time they will have to toggle because our app does not follow them. Some people say, oh, that might be inconvenient. Okay, but we don't follow them, one. And two, we are always mindful of domestic violence survivors. We never want anyone tracking anyone. So they can enable it. They have complete control. They can. So let's, in a world where there is, let's say, a serious domestic violence concern, but they are having a rocky exchange, or they're exchanging at the sheriff's office, whatever it might be. They don't even want to tell the other parent they're there. They just want to show their attorney they're there to avoid any unnecessary allegations. They can create a private check-in for themselves or for you as the linked professional. So again, if they're exchanging at the sheriff's office, they don't even really communicate much. They can, if, check in at the sheriff's office, send it to their linked professional, show, I'm here, it happened, here it is. They don't even need to send it to the other parent. It's really cool that way. So they can share it exclusively with Connected Professional. Again, another tool, I mean, a lot of guardian ad litems really love because they can share it straight to them, or again, the attorney, paralegal, whatever. All of this you can create reports on. You can, the moments and the check-ins. So like everything else, you can create reports that are easy to submit for court. Infobank. Okay. I've heard this called the unsung hero of OFW. I love the Infobank because I've had more arguments over insurance cards that failed to be exchanged than I would probably like to count. And the Infobank is a wonderful place for basically them to store anything and everything about the children, their court case, whatever it might be. It's a great tool. So going back to equality, this is a great tool so that everybody has equal access to all of the records. Here in Manatee County, where I live, I personally have happened to be married for 18 years. My husband has not received one thing from Manatee County schools. Like, I'm the enrolling parent, so for whatever reason, I get everything. In the world we ever divorced, he'd have nothing. So again, this tool creates that equality. They can both have access, just they have to load it in here. It's super simple to do. Insurance card. Also in Manatee and Sarasota, we get a lot of people who move here. And Florida's awesome because you can pretty much find any records, court records in Florida. Other states, not so much. I always encourage them to load any out-of-state court orders, especially like independency cases. That can be darn near impossible. So yeah, I always encourage them to load different sort of court records that might be relevant into their OFW account. Injunctions. So if there was a world that they didn't have that piece of paper with them or something, they would have it loaded and they could show law enforcement or whatever it might be. It's just a great, great, great storage tool. I love it. Again, I always encourage them. Out-of-state court orders, injunctions are kind of the non-negotiables for me. Insurance card, non-negotiable. School records, it just is a great tool so they all have access to everything. The expense tool, again, we have a QR code, so if you want to dig more into this later, but I'm going to do a quick overview. The expenses, I mean, this is kind of, we like to show what it might look like for your clients, or if you're viewing it as a professional, you'd see that client viewing mode up there. And you could see I'm viewing it as Taylor, my client, so that's how it might look. The expenses are wonderful. It's going to create a clear overview of expense requests and payments. They can search and filter. So again, if they're going to court for, I'm just looking at this, piano lessons, you can search by piano lessons and see, has it been paid? Has it not been paid? It does create clear progress labels. So it's going to say what's owed, what's been paid. Again, just going to my experience in creating parenting plans, a lot of the times, in the parenting plan, it'll call for the exchange of, let's say, unreimbursed medical expenses within, let's say, 30 days. And then you have to pay within 30 days of receipt. And sometimes when I would do pro se mediations, they'd be like, well, why does it matter? I'm like, well, okay, $20 copay, no biggie, maybe. I mean, $20 still $20. But if you have a child that needs braces, that's like $1,500. I mean, that's so much money. And you want to make sure these receipts are being exchanged in a timely fashion. It's so important because what if they did have 30 days to submit like the orthodontia? Maybe you have a really nice co-parent who's going to say, cool, it's okay. I get it. We're busy. It's the holidays. Maybe you don't. And if you don't, that's really difficult. So I really encourage parents. This is a great tool for tracking expenses. They set up their own, categories and they can do like the splits. So in this case, you can see school, tuition, supplies, lunch, field trips. They set 70-30, let's say. It does the math for them, which is really kind of handy because if you're like me, not so good. They do create their own expenses. They supply the fields. They can attach receipts. So again, you're at the doctor, you get a receipt, you just quick picture, load it up, send it over. It's done. That's done. You attached it, you sent it within the 30 days. Great. So yeah, they can load it up, which I appreciate because I'm really bad personally at keeping receipts. I don't know. I just don't do it very well. So I like just being able to screenshot things. OFW Pay, it basically works like a Venmo or Zelle. It can link the parents up so they can pay things for alimony, child support. Our expense feature is really, it's grown a lot. So if you haven't heard me present in a while, it's like it really does so much now. It can almost do anything they need. It can keep them completely out of DOR if that's their desire, and they can just pay each other through this. So it's really cool. And it would just link up just like a Venmo or Zelle, and they can just pay anything. They can schedule payments. So if somebody was getting paid on the first of the month, they can set it so they get paid on the 10th, set up child support to send on the 10th, whatever it might be. So they can set it up on a month, weekly, or yearly basis. So kind of set it and forget it again. I do like to show this because expense reports generally are going to look a little different. It's almost going to be more of a spreadsheet type thing. I like this though because it can show what's owed, what's received, what's refused. They can refuse things. And again, if they do refuse, if I'm their lawyer, I'm looking to see when was the receipt submitted? When was the expense submitted? And was it within the 30 days? Was it a year later? Again, it gives you all the information you need. It's a really fantastic tracking tool and a payment tool. It really kind of does it all now. As I said, it really is a co-parenting ecosystem. You can almost do anything through this. Professional access, it is so important. You can scan the QR code. I am going to talk a little bit about other co-parenting apps. And if you have questions, I can answer them at the end. But I can tell you our professional access is free. It is unique to OFW. And I assure you it is so important because I'm the person who gets the panicked call because they logged into talking parents using their clients' information. And then they get accused of reading messages and writing messages, and it's a nightmare. So just avoid it. All professional accounts are free. All you gotta do is email me. I can create it for you, or you can scan the QR code and create it for yourself, but I'm happy to do it. That's my job. I love working with all professionals. And it's not just for lawyers. I mean, paralegals, assistants, I've set them up for domestic advocates. It really runs the gamut. Mental health professionals, GALs, parenting coordinators, anyone anyone who might benefit can have it. Essentially, you are logging in without altering the record at all because you are logging in as you. I am logging in as Rebecca. I am not logging in as Sam. So that's really, really critical because if I were using another app to log in as Sam, that's when the accusations start flying. And again, I do this job in Florida, Georgia, and Alabama, and I'm the panicked call. I get the calls. Don't be the pan. I'm happy to take it, but I prefer avoid it. Professional accounts always free. Easy peasy. It's super easy to link up to clients. I do demos all the time of like professional walkthrough. So Jorge's kind enough, he's going to share my information and I'll share it at the end. Shoot me an email. I can show you my pro account, my parent account. We can kind of demo that, kind of show you more of the hands-on how to send like a client request or accept a client. We can do that definitely. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes, super quick. I would love to do that with you. So just shoot me an email. Why professional access? Truly, truly avoid allegations of altering the record. Verify, again, I've been the attorney and I don't know. Is my client the problem? Are they not the problem? I don't know, but I can verify because I can look on and see it. GALs, mental health professionals, and PCs, they actually can link to both parents so they can set calendar items for the parents. It's so simple and easy to download and print records. It is going to make your life easier, I assure you, because relying on parents. I mean, parents are so busy. We're busy. They're busy. I mean, providing their, cell phone records, probably not high on their list if they're trying to work a job and have 3 kids. I mean, whatever it is, it's just going to make your life easier. I do promise. You'd be in what's called client viewing mode. They don't know if you're in once, twice, ever. They don't know. But truly, I think just knowing an attorney can see it. Some judges do use it. I don't know necessarily, well, I mean, it can be used and sometimes courts will access it. And sometimes I think knowing someone can see it can also bring the tensions down a bit and maybe put them on, better behavior, I guess, if you will. It's wonderful. You can also, and I tell this to attorneys because most attorneys I meet, the biggest objection I get is, I don't want them thinking I'm logging in and watching them all the time because they can send you messages as their linked professional, to which email me, I'll set you up. I don't know if it's actually called an out of office reply, but that's what it is. It takes 2 seconds. And essentially what the auto reply will do is just say, hey, thanks for contacting me. I check this once in a while, not all the time. For emergencies, call my office, email this email. So super easy to do, sets the bar really low for expectations because we know how busy you all are, and definitely don't need to add anything else to your plate. Oh, I'm doing good on time. I really am. But I do, if possible, I would love to answer questions. You will be able to see everything. So again, if your client or the other parent was ordered to load the insurance card, you can even go in the info bank and see, was that insurance card loaded? Was it not? It's, I think, just a critical tool. If they're getting along again, that's great. And this is still a great tool. And it really does become a co-parenting ecosystem. But if they're not getting along or there's domestic violence concerns, I don't see the app as negotiable. And it is with the free accounts that I can create, it's available to anyone. So I'd prefer them to use this than use an app that I don't think would help them as much. Each parent or the linked professionals can pull their own login histories, but using the names Taylor and Sam that were throughout my presentation, Taylor cannot pull Sam's and Sam's cannot pull Taylor's. So, but the attorneys can. And I saw a case in Georgia once where, I was talking to the attorney and they're like, oh my gosh, my case was won based on this. I'm like, how? She's like, well, dad was ordered to use it. His attorney pulled it and turned out dad never logged on. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Very cool use of it. So it is available, but you can't pull each other's. So we do have business record affidavits. Again, just email me if you need them. Generally not needed because most courts, the majority of courts accept the OFW records. So, but if you need it, let me know. Model order, I am going to send to Jorge. We updated this and it has the language for recording calls. I am a big cutter paster. I'm not ashamed to admit this. So I love our model order. I use it in my parenting plans. I cut and paste the sections I need. And it's just wonderful. It's really good too. So if we're talking in any cases involving DV, what it can do is it can order let's say the parent to link up to a guardian ad litem. And if we at OFW get the court order saying, oh, it looks like these parents have been ordered to link up to Rebecca Para, guardian ad litem, but they haven't. If we have a court order, we can make that link up happen. If we don't, we can't. But if you think there's a party that might be hesitant to link up to a guardian ad litem, parenting coordinator, just, again, check out the model order. It's fantastic. And I'll send it in Word so you can cut and paste because, again, I'm a cutter paster. I love it. I don't believe in reinventing the wheel if it's been done well. Generally, we always provide a deadline. So if you'd like to enroll, do it by this time. I am running. Okay, so I want to keep moving. Is the program contested? It has been. But as you can see in this case, it was a guardian ad litem who said they needed to use it. This was in a Kentucky Court of Appeals, and the court said, wait, I don't get it. It helps us in supervising our orders and reduces excessive litigation through the facilitation of effective communication. So the party's objection that I think it was going, I mean, again, I don't want to take too long, but they were saying it's not in the best interest of the child. The guardian ad litem was like, it's a critical tool. I need this to happen. So court agreed. Okay, so I'm going to keep moving. Apps. Everybody, I do not take it personally. If you ask about other co-parenting apps, I've presented, like they've presented and then I've presented, especially Talking Parents. I'm very familiar with their program. They have recently raised their price. So to download the app is going to be, it's actually, I need to update my slide. It's now $144. This is, and their free plan, what their free plan allows for is messaging on a browser only. DV victims are allowed to get printouts. However, if there's no DV, but they're just, not just, but if they're like a pro bono client or whatever, they will not have access. They will have to pay $50 for 24 access printing period. I have been on a presentation and Talking Parents has been asked, how do professionals access that? To which they say, with the parent's permission using their login. Again, maybe that works until it really doesn't work and I'm the panicked call or our customer support. I'm happy to go into this. If you are using calls or have an interest in calls, our fee waiver covers unlimited audio and video calling minutes, not the recorded. That's going to be a separate feature, but unlimited regular calls. I don't believe, I'm almost 99% certain that Talking Parents does not have a free version that allows for any calls. So if you need something for free, please, please, please let me know. App Close, I really caution you. It is free. That is correct. I do pro bono legal work up in Connecticut via Zoom. I had a woman come to me and she said, he blocked me on App Close. To which I said, no, you cannot block on co-parenting apps. Alas, I was wrong. On App Close, you can do something called disabling chat. So with this particular client I was working with, she had to go back to court because they were ordered to use App Close and he blocked her for 4 months, unblocked her, said, talk to my new wife, and blocked her again. So long and short, they went back to court, got an OFW, it was happy. They can also delete their accounts at any time. So I've have a colleague who does a lot of guardian ad litem work. She went to court and they said, okay, I need your App Close reports. And they said, oh, I deleted it. It was an accident. So I just caution you, particularly if there's domestic violence issues, it could be very problematic. Our plans and pricing, I am going to send to Jorge. However, I do tell you, if you have clients that need it, it can be free. Anyone represented, and I'll get to, I'll send this to Jorge. It's better to look at, but just so you know, our free plan is this basically the essentials plan and the premium calling. Our free plan allows for unlimited voice video calling minutes. The max is going to be the recorded transcribed. That's the other thing with Talking Parents, the recorded transcribed, it adds up quick because you have to keep buying additional minutes. Ours is unlimited, so it adds up really quick. So I caution you on that. We do have, again, the fee waiver, but simply shoot me an email. Just say, I have these parents, they need free accounts. I work with them pro bono. I work at, Miami-Dade Legal Aid, whatever it might be. And I can set up free accounts through our customer support. Military family discount, essentially a BOGO. I had this couple from a pro in Tampa who they were paying gobs of money on Talking Parents to use their recorded transcribed. She's like, oh, he's in the military. Would that qualify? I'm like, you could have been saving half of that and not paying for the additional minutes. So whatever plan one parent purchases, the other parent would get for free. So if they purchase the recorded plan, the other parent would get it for free. Customer support, incredible, like real live people. They're friends of mine. They're wonderful. English, Spanish, phone, live chat, email. And as promised, there is my email. There is no question I have not seen, handled. Don't think anything is out of line or weird. Just please email me, call me. That's my cell. And I would love to set up a lunch and learn or do a demo of the platform for your organization. It's my job and I love what I do. So please reach out to me anytime and I'd love to set that up. So I'm looking, Jorge, I don't see any questions, but if anybody
We
thinks of
do
anything.
actually.
Oh,
We have a few questions in the Q&A feature, and we're just gonna read them out loud.
of course.
The first one is, as a professional, are we able to see the tone meter, or is that only for the clients to see?
It's really for the clients to see. We do get that feedback, but the reason being is that we never wanted it to be a litigation tool. However, to the professional that asked that, what I can do for them is one, I can create free professional accounts, but that won't have tone meter. I create sometimes for firms tester parent accounts. So if they wanted to run something through tone meter, they could, and that would be free as well. But no, it would not show up on the reports.
The next question is, after a judge ordered the use of talking parents, I've asked talking parents if they have DV waivers, but I have been told that they do not offer fee waivers for indigent persons, DV survivors, or legal aid clients. Do you know if this has changed?
Talking parents, my understanding is they do allow for, I think printing is what I recently heard of DV, but honestly, with our app, you can do it all. It's not like we have separate charges for printing or calls, like, and honestly, do the free plan through us. Just shoot me an email with their name and I can get them switched over. Because with Talking Parents, all they can do is messaging through a browser. And I think printing if you're DV, I think. But it's not going to really offer anything else. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And I did have one question about the
Mhm.
professional account. If you have a law firm, we have a lot of the civil legal aids here. Do they create one organizational account, or does each attorney or professional create their own account?
Well, one, I can do it for them. I'm happy to do it. But if they go to the OFW or scan the QR code, they can create it. There's no limit to them. I often encourage paralegals to get them. So oftentimes what you'll see, and I do, an attorney will have it because they might want to check out the messaging, but usually maybe it's the paralegal printing the report. So I'll create another account for the paralegal. You're not limited. It can be one account, so usually I'll set up multiple accounts for a firm.
All right. So we're at time. The CLE code, I'm going to read it out loud. I dropped it in the chat, but it's 2412587N as in Nancy. And thank you everybody for joining us today. You can probably see why Rebecca came highly recommended. Thank you to you, Rebecca, for sharing your insights on this tool and how to use the Our Family Wizard app. We hope this session was useful to all of you, and you know how to contact Rebecca if you need more help. Hopefully you can incorporate these ideas into your work. If you have any follow-up questions, shoot me an email or shoot Rebecca an email. We'll make sure to address those. We will upload all these materials into the shared folder. You won't see much yet, but we will go ahead and share those as well. So thank you again, Rebecca, and thank you everybody for attending and your dedication to this important work. Take care and have a great day.
Thank you.